house already, and I feel like the majority of the work has either been part of closets, which we've already seen upstairs, and this basement down here. We've spent a lot of time down this basement, but it's important because you want to make sure everything's structurally sound before we build up around it. So I think really the first thing I'd point out is this double wall you see right here. This was just a single supporting wall underneath the kitchen area upstairs. Josh discovered shortly after we moved in that there was a small rotting piece in the floorboard, so we changed out the wall. A couple months later, we discovered like, nope, the whole floorboard was rotted, so we had to build some supporting walls on either side, take the whole wall out. We poured concrete underneath it now, so hopefully it should be better stabilized. We got some rebar in there and stuff, so it should be pretty solid. And then just since we were doing it, like why not? We built 2 walls instead of 1, so we're really secure. I mean, the rest of the house is balancing on just this portion here, so it's pretty important we have it good and sound. So underneath box number 1, we've got all the manifold, if you will, the controls for the plumbing. So like this is where the hot and cold are coming for. So like your sink and stuff, sink, tub, washing machine, etc. And then over here, Josh ran 9 million home runs. So to our sub panel. Yeah, look how professional this is. Look how orderly. You know, it's amazing.
It's all being ripped apart.
It's all gonna be ripped apart, but it looks great right now. So got the electrical run, and he's gonna be doing a service change in the next couple weeks, I think. And then just down here, we have a bunch of sockets and stuff, so we can use this as a workspace and it'll be really functional. The last thing we want to show you down the basement before we go back upstairs is what used to be the coal room. And literally this room was filled with coal when we moved in, which means it'd been here for 100 years because people stopped using that as their heating system so long ago, right? But what it was originally designed for, it came with 2 tons of it. We got to experience what it's like to shovel all that out into 50-pound bags and carry it back up. Then of course the floor here was just dirt, right? And there was a supporting wall here that dirt over years had sort of eroded away. So while it's TUI 1 week, Josh poured all this concrete, bored up this wall right here so it's more structurally sound. One thing we've still yet to tackle is doing some pointed tucking on these walls, obviously, that hadn't been touched while this room was still filled with coal. And then figuring out some way to close off this old coal chute. So we're gonna be using this room for utilities. We'll be putting the boiler in here and the manifolds for operating the heating system. It's kind of returning to what it was originally for. You know. Okay, on this side of this room, so you can see we have a stone wall. A lot of the material, the old mortar, is pretty loose. So we've been scraping off the old stuff and getting it prepped to just do some patching repairs. So you can see from this quadrant, we've done some already. You can see which parts I've done versus which parts Josh has done. The parts Josh has done a little bit cleaner. I'll give it to him, but we're learning as we go. But anyway, we're gonna fix up the whole room that way and make sure it just looks sound and we don't have our walls crumbling down on us. And after that, we'll be able to put some sealant on the floor too and move into this space. So when you put in forced air to a building that was originally designed for boiler system, changes a lot of things. And one of the things that you have to do is like rip down a lot of the supporting structure to get the ducts in, which is what we saw in this whole area when we moved in. So all of this that you see here wasn't here. It was just a crumbling wall mess, right? This was like supported by one beam poorly, and it was all, again, it's crumbly along here, so it was disconcerting. So another thing that we did to make this house more structurally sound is we obviously built this wall back up to its original spacing. It probably came out even a little bit more, but we just couldn't find the rocks to fill it in with, so this works. And then what we did for the crawl space is create kind of a walled off area to kind of help keep any vermin out if they do happen to come along. And then a secondary structural support just behind it, again, just to make sure that we're extra secure here. But a pretty decent crawl space. We've got some plastic laid down there so it's easier to work with. And then we've got our plumbing and electrical running up through here as well. Same over on this side. Some extra cuts have been made to accommodate the ducting system when they put that in, that we just went through and tried to repair. reframed this to make it more structurally sound. Closed it off some so that we can keep any bugs out. I haven't really seen any yet though. So this pit you're looking at was once covered by a giant, and I mean giant, furnace. Someone had attempted to put some concrete over it at some point, but when we took the furnace out, we noticed it was kind of sinking down. So Josh started pulling up the concrete, and lo and behold, we uncovered and slowly excavated this pit right here, which was for, I believe, the original boiler in this area. Allowed some venting over here, so there's a tunnel, if you can see underneath, leads over this space. So we're gonna make this into a feature. Josh has run some electrical down there so we can light it from underneath so folks can see it if they want to. I just think it's a cool little thing that obviously you wouldn't see anymore.
Before we even started this whole project, we had to make sure that everything was actually good. We had to make sure, we had to plan and plan and plan. So we had to plan sewers, we had to plan structural, we had to plan framing before we could even get started on the cool stuff. So a lot of the bones for all this project began in the basement. So there'll be some videos from Michelle from 2 years ago, 2017, 2018, that went over when this was all just being redone. I'll just go over the new stuff. So if you can see in here is the heating room. So this used to be the old coal room. We'll throw some pictures on what the old coal room used to be. It used to be filled with coal. Michelle dug it all out, and then I carried the bags up there. There's a lot of coal. Then we had to put in a floor because it was all dirt and coal. And then we had to put in the heating system. So this is the heating system that Michelle thought up all herself and I put in. And so basically what it is divided into two things. This is heating for all of the floor heating upstairs. And this is the heating system for all the radiators upstairs. And this is what heats the whole house during summer. These are control valves, and there's a bunch of other pipes here that do a bunch of things. The main heat creator in this whole system is just this guy here. This is a combi boiler. It's weird because it does domestic hot water, so all your showers and your sinks. And then it also does the heating loop, so it heats the house during that too. So it does both. So this was a difficult project. This took us a while. There was one summer or one winter that was no heat, if everybody will remember that. So as Michelle will explain to you in the past 2 years ago, when that video is, you'll see, well, you will have seen that all of this was just open before. Now it's all closed up. We put sheetrock on, we put all the cabinets in. So everything's done now. She was also showing the distribution of the pipes. So this is the water distribution that goes to all of the actual devices in the house. And then it's labeled, of course, and so it goes to all the hose bibs outside, all the cold, all the hot, toilets, sinks, everything else. So that's the distribution panel. It's done. We took these basketball courts. We put basketball courts and we use them as countertops for all of the workspaces in here. Worked out really well. They were very, very, very heavy, and I thought we were going to die when we brought them in. But we cut them up, and they're really, really heavy still, but it's pretty cool. We took these old cabinets from the kitchen and the living room, I think, of the old house. Just painted them and put them in here. We do have a main shutoff valve, a flow, which is to shut off just in case there's leaks in the house. In theory, it should automatically shut this off. This is also the place where we put in the secondary sewer. So there's 2 sewers in this house. We got it redone. That's where this comes into. This was needed so that we could put a actual toilet on this floor on this side of the house. The other thing too that we did here is, since you have to get access to the panel, this is the first sub panel downstairs, we had to get access, but then this countertop cut it off. So we devised this little scheme to put this countertop, cut it, and then put little latches, and so you can remove this. This is removable, so you can get to the countertop. The main thing we have to do here is tuck, so you can see that some of the tucking was done. I think Michelle speaks to this 2 years ago. We haven't gone any farther.
Correct.
So tucking still has not been done. The only thing tucking's been done has been over there at the new sewer.
Yeah.
But I'll finish that this winter, and then we'll be done with tucking and can finish the basement.
Welcome to the epoxy floor project. We have prepped the floor by thoroughly cleaning this concrete that has been here for, I'm going to guess, 60 years? I have no idea. It's a bit dirty. Hopefully we got most of the material up. We used Simple Green, non-toxic biodegradable cleaner. Hopefully that also does the trick.
In this space, you'll notice some cracks and some wear and tear from over the years. We believe that adds to the character. We'll see how true that is or not. We just mixed our epoxy, parts A and part B. Got the color going. It's a little nursery blue.
It is a little nursery.
But we'll see how it looks when it dries. Either way, it's not hurting my feelings. And now we just wait.